Yeah, I think our players did a really good job of, it's not going the way you want it to. It looks this way, and they just buckled down and played Michigan football. Really grinded it out on the ground. I was really proud of how the O-line started to come off the ball, and then knew we can go to 18 in the red zone, and he did a really good job making a play. It was a great throw by Davis. I think these guys did a really good job all night with their connection. Colston had 8 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown. And really, I thought Davis did a really good job putting the football where it needs to be. The one pick, we told our guys on the sideline, like, at some point we got to go up and you got to play defense too, and you got to go get the ball in the post. So I thought he really did a great job controlling the offense, and I thought 18 did a great job as well.
Sherrone, what kind of went into the decision to go with Davis, and what did he show you to kind of lift him into that role?
Yeah, just training camp. Him and Alex had a really good training camp, but ultimately he won the job. The last week, really, he was just consistent, took care of the football, made plays against that defense that you saw out there. So for us, it was a guy that they played hard for both players, but he ultimately took the job and won it. So, that made the decision easier for us.
Sherrone, if you could walk us through that series there in the fourth quarter with the 2 overturned interceptions and what kind of happened for you and what you saw in those?
Yeah, I thought our defense was playing hard. I think, sometimes you get a little too emotional. We got to keep our composure in some things that were going on, and we ended up getting a pick with Will at the end, which was awesome. But it was just a lot of back and forth. They're a good football team too. I'm not taking anything away from them. But, at the end of the day, especially our D-line, these guys up front, they just kept the pressure on their O-line and kept him backing up and throwing the ball. So they did a really good job of just making sure that we got the ball back.
Chris? You just talk about the job that Khalil did on the last drive, and then also Dom's performance in the second half after kind of a rough first half maybe.
Yeah, I thought Khalil was running it extremely hard. Look at his stats. He was 15 carries for 92 yards. He averaged 6.1 a carry. So that's pretty good. And he had 3 kick returns for 74 yards, so 168 yards of total all-purpose yards. So pretty good performance by Khalil. And O-line it takes time. I've said it before, you're not going to be the same product you are in week 2. They'll be better next week. So it's going to take time for them to gel, and I think they needed that last drive to really get that feel and feel what it feels like to be together and grind through a game, and it's going to help them and prevail for us for sure.
Sherrone, can you take us through your night pregame? It looked like you were so fired up you might have, suited up, and then just kind of threw the game tighter than you maybe thought, et cetera.
Yeah, I wasn't suiting up. I've held the bag for a couple of these guys and take snaps. And I've given snaps to Davis, so I got no snaps left in me, and I got no plan on trying to return and no eligibility. But that's just who I am. Wore my emotions on my sleeve. I was excited, so I expressed it. But I was so excited just to watch our boys play. It's when you're in training camp, when you're in spring ball, and you're doing all this, and you get the opportunity to be out there. You only get 8 opportunities this year to go out there in front of our home crowd and play. So, yeah, I was going to be excited, and I was hopefully infecting some juice in them, and they played really hard.
Sherrone, you knew losing so many starters from a championship team that it wasn't going to be an immediate, easy transition. Was it about what you thought, or was those growing pains, at least early on, even more than you thought they might have been?
No, I think we're always going to strive to be perfect. Defense played really good, but there's going to be things that they want to get better at. Offense, we had our ups and downs, and we're going to try to get better. So there's not really a time we're ever going to think we've reached the pinnacle and reached where we needed to be, because I think when you do that, you've already lost. So for us, in all the phases, special teams as well, we're going to just continue to strive to be better.
Yeah, with Khalil's performance and with him getting more touches than Donovan tonight, do you see him as a potential lead back for this offense?
We think we have two guys that are starters, so we'll play both of them. Let them keep playing, and you're going to need all of them for the long drive, long haul of the season. So we'll just keep playing both of them.
We got 3 players here. We'll start
Yeah, let's ask them. They're the ones that
Don't-
play.
If I could go to Davis, just what was your reaction when you did realize you were starting and you were told that, and then obviously getting a majority of snaps tonight? Let's walk us through those emotions.
Yeah, I think, first of all, just excited when Coach pulled me in and let me know, and felt, just proud of the way that I performed in camp. And then I think that night and then but once the next morning hit, I was like, man, now it's time to really win football games. And that switch flipped pretty naturally for me, and I just knew that this team needed to rely on me, and I needed to be a guy that they could count on, and so it went right into like, all right, now it's time to go. And kind of proud of the way the guys battled tonight, and the guys trusted me and rallied around me, and we got a lot of work to do, but I'm excited where it started.
Left here, Aaron.
Sherrone, you guys started strong and then finished strong offensively, but in between there was obviously some struggles. How did you feel about the flow and everything from a play calling perspective?
Yeah, I thought it's football. It's not always going to be perfect. It's going to be up and down. I thought the play callers did a great job, and we got to execute the play calls, whether it's offense or defense. So play calls I thought were good, and we just got to continue to execute at a high level.
Ryan.
Davis, obviously you've been through a lot to get to this to get to this point. Was there any time where you kind of reflected on your journey and what it took for you to get here and be the starting quarterback at Michigan?
A little bit. I mean, definitely, range of emotions when you first find out, and excited to just be the guy that you can be for this team, but definitely was able to kind of, reflect on the people who'd helped me get here and my family and those people who had supported me, and even, just other kids, meeting a kid that yesterday before practice, kid named Finn who had leukemia and then also Down syndrome, and me and Coach Moore had a great time with him, and that just keeps putting things in perspective for me, and just reminds me of my why I want to be out there every day, work my tail off for these guys and this team, and I think it helped with, the nerves a little bit, and just knowing that, man, like, I'm ready for this opportunity, ready to make the most of it, and I'm proud of us.
Tony.
Yeah. Hey, guys. So I guess this is for Sherrone, Davis, and Colston, if I could, I think. So Colston obviously had a great game with eight catches for 87, but I think the rest of the receiving core combined 8 catches for 34, I guess. Is that just sort of how tonight was? Do you want to get them more involved? Maybe Davis, what you saw, and Sherrone, your thoughts about just the balance?
Yeah, I mean, we always want to be balanced, but sometimes if you leave him open, he's going to get the ball. So Davis can go through his reads how he needs to and throw it to the guy he thinks that is open. So that's what we're going to do. That's how it goes. Maybe next game he might catch 10, he might catch 2, but for us, we're just going to try to make sure we put the best people in position to make plays and let the guys make plays.
What about Davis, I guess?
Yeah, I think, like Coach said, if they're going to leave 18 open, we're going to throw them the ball. So it's pretty simple. And we're going to keep doing that. And then, the other guys, Maj, Timo, Peyton, Fred, Kendrick, Marlon, those guys are going to step up and make plays too. So just whatever the defense presents us, there were definitely some plays today that, I probably could have thrown at the receivers too who were open. And those guys could have made plays too. But I'm just going to stick to what I'm being coached to do, stick to what Coach Campbell is preaching every day. That's the smartest guy in America. So I'm listening to him, and we're just going to keep things rolling.
On the right, Charlie.
Davis, how do you assess your performance?
Hold on, Colston.
Colston's got to answer questions.
Go on, say it. Go on.
No, y'all hit it on the head. Yeah, like you said, we got a lot of talent in the receiver room. Maybe they didn't show that today or didn't get the opportunity to show that, but they will eventually, and they'll step up when their number's called.
Charlie.
Davis, how do you assess your performance out there? And at moments, is it at all hard to get into a rhythm if you keep getting subbed in and out of the game, or is that just kind of what you've been used to through camp?
Not at all. I'm whatever is going to help us make plays. I was so happy for Alex when he had that first touchdown. They were yelling at me to get back in the sideline box because I was halfway down the sideline in the end zone. So not hard at all. I'm perfectly prepared to do that, and whatever this offense needs. I feel like personally, definitely just need to clean things up on third downs. We left some meat on the bone on those plays, and those are key plays in the game. So we're going to go back to the drawing board and find some ways to get better. But overall, just proud of kind of how I handled myself, emotionally, and was able to get the ball to our playmakers. And sometimes things were hard, but proud of the way we fought.
Any questions for the defense?
Zeros. This guy's like killed him.
I can save him. I can save him for next week.
Use him so we can talk to the guys. Tom?
Yeah, Sherrone, game one, week number 1 to week number 2. I know we're not in the game week, but
Yeah.
what are the biggest improvements you would like to see for the Texas game next
Yeah, everything. We're just not going to say that we want one piece of our game to be better. We're going to strive for perfection and chase excellence. So everything. We're going to try to get better on offense in all phases, defense in all phases. We thought we were really good on defense, but we're going to try to get better on that and then in special teams as well.
In the back, Reiner.
Yeah, two questions, one for Davis, one for Sherrone. Davis, I mean, how would you assess the functionality of the offense? What were the strong points, you think? What were the weak points?
Yeah, I think, obviously there were some moments where we struggled to, get the ball moving and do some things on third downs, and that falls on me as a quarterback to, make sure we're in the right play and doing the right thing. But, we can't leave ourselves in third and long. We got to keep the chains moving. I think, that first falls on all of us to keep us going. But I'm just so proud of the way the guys battle. I mean, that last drive, that's Michigan football right there. And that's just momentum we needed. And I kept telling the guys, hey, like, we're going to get this thing rolling, things are going to start moving and popping. And they eventually did. And I think that just brought us all closer together, gave us all more confidence, more trust to just go out there and play fun and play free. I was praying we got another drive, because I felt like if we got another drive, we would have scored again. So, I'm proud of the way the guys fought, and the O-line especially, they really played well at the end there.
And Sherrone, I mean, establishing the run early and the struggles to do that, how did that affect the play-action game and what you were trying to do maybe with that?
Yeah, it was really just to one guy here, one guy there. So things that we'll fix, we'll get better at.
Coach, big picture question. How do you feel about the opportunity to be the first black head coach to win a national championship?
We got to win next week first. I don't think about myself, so I just think about these guys. I just want to be successful for our program, for these guys. And yeah, that's the goal, is to win a national title, but really it's about the players that are sitting here that are in that locker room.
All right, I'm going to excuse Coach Moore. Give you guys a couple minutes. Sorry, Andrew.